Chava, with your permission. As the Zohar says, the stories in the Torah are not meant for history, as a message. We start towards the end of the parasha. Torah tells us that Moshe decided to send messengers to the king of Edom. He would like to cross through his country to go to Eretz Israel. It's a shortcut. Torah tells us, excuse me. The king said, no way. And Moshe pleaded with him. He said, listen, we would like to cross and we're going to buy from you water, even though we have water. We can buy from you food, even though we have the man. And he said, no way. And Torah says that he drafted his people. Am kabed, yad chazaka, a lot of people is coming with swords to fight Am Israel. Torah says, so Moshe gave up. Beit Yisrael Mala. As the Torah tells us, Sefer Shemot, and now a few weeks ago, Pashat Balotcha, we went in the desert with ways, and the ways was a cloud. A cloud. Torah says, we followed the cloud. Sometimes the cloud parked one day, some parked 2 days, a month, a few months, sometimes parked 19 years. So if it is like that we follow the cloud, so there's no way Moshe should send messengers to King of Edom. He wants to cross. You can't go follow the cloud. There's a cloud in front of you. It must be that Moshe has an edge. So Moshe is going to go over there. What's going to be with the cloud? And why is pleading with him so much? The question is, why Moshe doesn't ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu directly on the hotline? He says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, shall we go cross, or should we wait till the cloud will show him how to go, where to go? On his own, he decided. And you see, the mission failed because the king said no way, and he drafted the people, so Moshe so-called made a mistake. So, what happened? How come Moshe didn't ask Hashem? Shall I go over there? Should I go over there? Story in the Torah, and he pleads with him. And he tells him, please let us go. And he tells him, remember, we were in Egypt, we suffered so much. Well, who cares what he's told him, what he answered? Torah is not, Zohar says, Torah is not a story. What do you gain from that? What do you learn from it? Nothing. History. Chas Shalom, Zohar says, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai is so upset. And he said the person should not have been born if he takes it for granted. Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai said, yeah, that's great, yes. But when you grow up, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says, no, Chas Shalom to think it's a story. What's the purpose of it? The story behind it, a little bit before, Am Israel arrived in the city. It's called Kadesh. Of course, it's a name that was given by Hashem. There was no signs like this on the highway, Kadesh. The Torah says Miriam died over there, and Miriam was buried over there. So what do you have to know? What do you have to know where Miriam died and where she was buried? I really don't care less. I do and I don't. Listen, there's no monument over there anyway. I can't go over there to her grave. So when it make the Torah tells us she died in that city, you can say we arrived in Kadesh and she died. No, Torah emphasizes, but Tamot Sham. She died there. But Ikaver Sham. She was buried there. Okay. Says the Gemara, I want to tell you something. The whole 38, 39, almost 40 years we had water in the desert is because of Miriam. It's a secret. Why? Now Miriam died. There's no more water. It's a very strange thing. Gemara called it as the present that Hashem gave us b'zechut of Miriam, because the merit of Miriam. So Miriam died. What happened? If somebody gives you a present, and the person died to give him a present, so What is the present? Nothing. I got the present. The Torah calls it a present. Hashem gave us a present, water. Bizuchut Miriam, okay. So I got the present. Now she's dead. So the present is cancelled. How come it's cancelled? No such thing as cancelled. If you don't call it a present, maybe. But if you call it a present, shouldn't be like this that all of a sudden, no water. But yesterday was water. Today is no water because Miriam died. Yeah? Tells the story. Am Yisrael came to Moshe and he says, why did you bring us over here? Excuse me? What do you mean? It's nothing to do with this. You know, the well of Miriam was a ball, a small rock. It's in the shape of a ball, rolled in front of the camp. 38 years, a ball. And from that ball was like a little faucet, a little hole, and water, unlimited water. It's called Niagara Fall. Niagara Fall from that little ball. Okay. Yesterday you had it. 2 days ago you had it. The last 38 years you have it. Why do you have water? How do you have water? No faucets in the desert. It was a lake? No. Was raining? No. How do you get it? From the ball. Okay, this morning you got up. The ball doesn't give water. So what has to do with Moshe Rabbeinu? This is a problem over here with the ball. Figure it out. What happened? There was a funeral of Miriam. Figure out if you don't know, if you didn't ask before. Figure out. There's no water because Miriam died. Miriam died. Tell Moshe, why did you bring us over here? I said, excuse me. What has to do with this place over here? Nothing to do with the place. There's no water. Why is no water? Because the ball doesn't produce. That's the place. Okay. And they continue. It says, this is a place we cannot seed. Seed? What do you want to seed now? We want to seed, we want to see the fig, we want to see the pomegranate, grapes. It says, there's no water to drink. What all these things they're adding up? The Gemara says, they came to Moshe while Moshe was sitting Shiva on Miriam with Aaron. When they approached the tent, Moshe said Shiva. Aaron told Moshe, Aaron always was on the positive side. He wants to look, everybody is going to come to pay Shiva call, to comfort us. Moshe told him, this is Aaron, you're naive. I see a demonstration. And they came. Not only they came, the Gemara says, they were furious. And actually they wanted to stone Moshe and Aaron. They were so upset and desperate. They have stones. They wanted Moshe and Aaron had to run to the Mishkan, so-called to hide inside. It's very strange. And surprisingly, Hashem is not upset at Am Yisrael. In the past, almost always, besides maybe one time, Hashem was not upset before we got the man. But every time we complained, the Mishnah said, the Gemara said, Hashem was upset. Here Hashem said, Moshe, get up from yeshiva, go give them water. Okay. And that's how the Torah tells us. Hashem told Moshe, go take the stick, you and Aaron, and you should speak to the rock. So when Tom Uziel says like this, Hashem told Moshe, listen, you go, you and Aaron, and you make a swear in front of the rock should give water. Not just, say to the rock, please, we need some water. Swear. And Hashem continued, told Moshe, in case he doesn't listen, hit him with a stick. A very strange thing. What do you mean, in case he doesn't listen? What does it mean? What does it mean? Hashem gives a choice, and Hashem says, listen, the rock might not listen, and then you hit him with the stick. Very strange thing. And then the Torah says like this. Moshe gathered all of Israel, Bnei Asala. I told him, you want to see something? I want to show you something. He's going to speak to the rock. Says the Gemara, such a strange thing happened. All of a sudden, the rock started to roll away, and some very similar rock was right there. And Moshe spoke and made a swear on the wrong rock. So of course it didn't help, because the other rock doesn't have the water inside. The whole thing is fiction. So Moshe doesn't know. So Moshe picks up his stick, and he's going to hit the rock. But hit that rock is nothing, because it's the wrong rock anyway. Nothing will happen. At that moment, as Moshe is having the stick up, the original rock came back, rolled, and Moshe so-called did not see what's going on, and hit the original rock. And I said, "Oh, Moshe, what did you do?" I said, "What do you mean what I do? You told me to hit the rock." He said, "Yeah, but it was the wrong rock." So what do you mean? I don't understand. It's hide and seek with rocks. I didn't do anything. What do you want? I says, "You know what? This whole thing was just an excuse for Hashem, for Moshe not to go to Eretz Israel." You read this whole story, and says the whole thing is fiction. It happened? Yeah. Is it true? Yeah. It did have to happen? No. And why did it happen? It's called Alila. Hashem is Alila. No Alila. So what's the story? The whole thing is fake. So the key for this episode, this word Kadesh, being found in Parashat Lech Lecha. The First World War between 4 and 5 kings. Torah describes the war. And the Torah says the war took place in Ein Mishpat Hahi Kadesh. That place Am Yisrael is now. This is on the east side of the Jordan River. Was a world war. And the war took place, one of the places in this place. It says, the Ari says, the Gemara says, a place that was a war, people were killed. The energy of that place is negative. And whoever steps over here, lives over there, gets the bad energy. It says, every place on earth, there's something bad happen, the person has to be very careful. Not to go over there and not to step on the spot. By the time of the Gemara, is to have special paths for men, special paths for ladies. The lady that walked on the path while they weren't pure, if a man would have walked on the same spot, would get bad energy. Today, we're so far we don't feel it. The world is by places, really. Baal Hashem Tov one time came to Eretz Israel with a wagon. He sat there, just in the air, with his students, and all of a sudden, the guy that drives the wagon took a knife only to kill Baal Hashem Tov. So Hashem Tov told his students, tell him just to go a little bit further. And further, put the knife back like nothing happened. So they asked him, I said, what happened? He said, we just passed the place that Cain killed Hevel. You know, the Stapler used to say in Eretz Israel, if it is an apartment that somebody got divorced, don't even go there to live for free. Because bad energy is inside. It's in the floor and on the walls. So that city, the Torah will tell us a story now. What happened is Moshe and Aaron and Miriam, the Gemara says, at that moment, Miriam died the day before, and then Moshe and Aaron's going to die soon. Why? What happened? I'll tell you what happened. Torah starts the story like this. They arrived in Kadesh. Miriam died there and buried there. What do you mean? So it was a kapara on that spot. It was a world war before destroyed the spot. And here, Moshe is so-called is having a test, a fiction test, just to tell us what's going to happen. Amisrael came to Moshe and says, Moshe, why do you bring us over here? I said, I brought you over here. What's wrong? I said, there's no water. You know why there's no water? You know why Miriam died? Because Moshe, you brought us over here. And the Pshum says, even though there was so-called GPS, the cloud, but the cloud went also according to Moshe. Moshe chose the places. And actually Moshe chose that place because he wanted to fix that place. But he wasn't able. So that time he told Moshe, listen Moshe, why do you make us over here? There's no water. You know why there's no water? Because the place is not good. The energy over here is not good. You know, I showed you in 1 second how bad energy is. I should tell Moshe, listen, go make the rock give water by swearing the rock. You have to swear the rock. Why you have to swear it? Because the rock won't give water. Now, why? Because the rock is now parked on the wrong spot. And I tell you something, Moshe. Even after you swear it, he might not listen to you. How is it possible? If you recall, Ari says, if you recall, on the first Tuesday, HaKadosh Baruch Hu told earth to produce esprit or sepri, at every fruit tree. In one version, there were no trees without fruits. The branches and the trunk should taste like the fruit. The Gemara says earth didn't listen. The Gemara says Hashem cursed earth later because earth didn't listen. Hashem told Moshe, listen, you're going to go, you try to give water from the rock. Don't be surprised. The rock won't listen. What do you mean the rock won't listen? Because the rock stands right now on a so-called accursed place, a place that was a war, and people were killed over there. I met somebody that went a tour to Poland, to concentration camp. They took him to Auschwitz, Buchenwald. They walked around, came back to America. He's not the same. I say, I feel my head is not the same, not the same. So where were you? He said, I went to Poland. Where did you go in Poland? To the chambers over there. So you can't step on that spot. You step on that spot, you get bad energy. The spot has an effect on the person. It's W. says the first chapter in Tehillim, and Shlomo says, be careful where you walk, be careful where you sit. Gemara says in Shir Yerushalayim, Kedash Yerushalayim, he says you have a party, he says, where is the party? In that spot, he says, be careful, you're on the wrong spot. You're on the wrong spot. Spots where are designated for the person. He said, I just heard last week of a soldier. He was 7 months in Gaza. Came last week, Shabbat, home. Went to Nahariya, went to a restaurant in Nahariya to have coffee. And over there was it. And an Arab came to the restaurant, if you heard, and stabbed 2 people in Nahariya last week. And one of them died. Who died? This soldier. 7 months he survived in Gaza. He came to have a coffee in Nahariya in a restaurant, he was stabbed. So you have to be careful where you go. You don't know. You don't know. You have to pray. You have to pray all the time. That your feet should take you to the right place. Because you put yourself in danger, but you don't know where. And that place, probably in Nahariya, that place in the restaurant, it's a cursed place. Innocent soldiers sat over there, gave his life to Hashem in Gaza for 7 months. When he sat down to have a coffee, got killed on that spot. I remember in the time of Saddam Hussein, through missiles. No one died from the missile, only one person. One person, he lived in Ramat Gan, was a siren. He told his wife, I'm running to the neighbor because the neighbor has a shelter. Went to the neighbor, went downstairs to the neighbor, the shelter's door fell on him and he died over there. He would not have gone. His wife stayed home, she was alive. Certain places, and in certain times, produces certain bad energy. That's the whole story in the Torah. There's no water. You know why not there? Because the place is not good. Because it was a war place. People were killed over there. Some Nishmat Israel were killed over there. Some Nishamot of Israel were killed over there. And then the Torah says that they come to Moshe and say, Moshe, why did you bring us over here? It was a mistake. You brought us here. And we cannot sit over here. There's no water over here. And they want to stone Moshe. You want to stone Moshe now? Yeah. If you stand on the spot, it was a war before, you have the bad energy. The bad energy. So the Gemara says the brothers killed the people in Shechem. Then they met Yosef over there, they sold Yosef. Because the brother did something. Shechem is one of the worst places in the West Bank. Because of it. Because when you do an act, act has an effect on earth. Not only an effect, you destroy earth. You destroy that energy of there. And that's why Hashem was not upset at Israel. They want to kill Moshe and Aaron. He says it's not their fault. And they're standing on the place. It was a war. So that's why they didn't want to kill also. And then the episode happened. He said the whole thing is a fiction. It's dark, the back moves. They said, what do you mean the back moves? It's because the earth, everything is moving. But it's not because the truth of the matter. Moshe says, Alila. Moshe had to die not to go to Israel. Now to go to Israel, Hashem made it this way. If Moshe is going to come to that place called Kadesh, and the whole episode, and Miriam is going to die, because she also has to die, she cannot go to Israel, even though all the ladies in the desert went to Israel, not one lady died in the desert, and says, that's the secret. Okay? Hashem swears to Moshe, you're not going to go to Israel. Finish. The Zohar says like this, the biggest thing for Hashem that he can do is to bring people back. Rabbi Yosef Mizrahi, Rabbi Zamir Cohen, that's the best. Zohar says no one can reach that level over there. Some explanation what you think is, bring people to Hashem. But that's not only that thing. It's not all at all. There's a secret behind it. Ramachal said, Ari said, you should know Hashem created us because Hashem is so good, and Hashem wanted to do good to somebody. And Hashem is by himself. He created people because of his goodness. He wants to do good to somebody. And as the Gemara says, Ari says, a person has to reach that level. He wants to do the same thing. What you want in life is you want to do good for people. Not that you want to do good. The purpose is you want people to have goodness from you. And it's your job in this world. Dari says, likewise, Hashem created this world in order for Hashem to be meitiv, to do good to others, because Hashem wanted somebody should be happy. And that's really the Gemara says, based on the Pasuk in the Tanakh. Hashem is looking for his righteousness. Hashem chafetz leman tzidko yagdil Torah b'yadiyot. So why did Hashem give you Torah? Hashem doesn't care less if you give the Torah. But Hashem wants you to get a reward. And the reward you will not be able to get unless you keep the Torah. But Hashem is nothing. The Ramban, they all say the same thing. Hashem doesn't care less if you keep the Torah. You want to keep Shabbat, you keep Shabbat. But if you keep Shabbat, you have so much pleasure and you get a reward from Hashem. So the whole mitzvot is just because Hashem wants you to have pleasure. Not because Hashem wants you to obey the mitzvot. It's a mistake in our theory, in our life. This pleasure that you're going to have by keeping the mitzvot is above all the pleasures that you can even imagine. And that's the purpose of our life. Let's go after HaKamocha, they say. As you see somebody is doing something bad, tell him. The explanation means he's doing something bad. Nah. You tell him because he's doing something bad, he won't get the goodness from Hashem. That's the purpose. He says, listen, why don't you keep Shabbat? Why don't you keep Shabbat? It's not your business. No, you don't understand it. I didn't tell you that. I tell you, if you don't keep Shabbat, you're not going to get the pleasure what Hashem wants you to have. The purpose of creation is Hashem wants you to have pleasure. Without doing the mitzvah, you're not going to have pleasure. That is a punishment, because you're not going to have it. Here comes Moshe Rabbeinu, the genius. As the Zohar says, that's the biggest thing. The biggest thing to bring somebody to Hashem is not because the person do teshuvah. Yeah, of course, it's very nice. But it's not the purpose. Kiruv means something else. By bringing this person to Hashem, then you get the pleasure from Hashem. So I worry about his pleasure. I'm not worried the guy doesn't keep Shabbat. Let the guy that doesn't keep Shabbat. It's not your business anyway. No, it's my business. I want him to get the pleasure of Shabbat. And then you reach the highest level, and that erases all the things. Here came Hashem and swore, Moshe is not going to Israel. I said, let me tell you something. I'll do Baal Tshuva right now. He said, messengers to the king of Edom. I said, Edom is Rasha Marusha. We say every morning, the people in Edom, Rashaim, Barat Amalek. Moshe said, you know what? I'm going to give them something that because of that Hashem will so-called have mercy on them, and they have pleasure from Hashem later. By what? By they can do kindness to me. I'm going to ask them, may I pass in your country? If they would have said, yes, come, then they did a pleasure to me, but I did pleasure to them because they're going to gain so-called pleasure from Hashem by do kindness. The secret is Megillat Ruth. Megillat tells us that Ruth and Naomi came to Israel, was a drought, famine, over. And Ruth voluntarily said to her mother-in-law, ex-mother-in-law, I'm going to go to a field and try to collect some wheat, some barley. Okay. She comes back, Naomi asks her, where is the person you did for him? And Ruth said, the person I did for him is Boaz. Just think, excuse me, who is doing for who? Who is doing for who? Boaz did for you. He didn't do anything for him. I said, no, he didn't get it. But a poor person, says the Zohar, comes to you, he does a favor to you. Because when you give him a charity, when you give him something, what you do is, he made you to be kind, so you're going to gain now pleasure from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's what Ruth told, that's what Naomi and Ruth discussed it. What did you make for him? What do you mean? He made for me. He let me come to his field. You don't get it. But him let me come to his field, I do a favor to him. As Zohar said, you don't give tzedakah because you don't think you help the poor person. He helped you that he came. That's the goal. No, it's not happen. Let's go after HaKamocha. You worry about the person who should have pleasure. So I'll tell you what. Moshe said, as a gzera, I can't go to Israel. Let me tell you what I'll do. If Hashem might cancel it. I'll make something that guy will come closer to Hashem by doing chesed, by doing kindness to me. Let me pass. And as Moshe is trying to convince him, Moshe said, listen. Your place is not, this is Edom, it's not so good, you know where, but you know what? Let us pass. He said, no way. He said, better not. We will buy from you water and food. It's the Chafetz Chaim, you should know. A grocery man makes a mitzvah every second by selling food to people. It's the Chafetz Chaim. Who said you cannot charge for Chesed? There's a thing, it's called Chesed Shelemet Chesed. You go to a grocery, you go to a place, the guy does for you something, clean anything, he does for you. Otherwise, you have to go clean your own suit. You have to go, seeds for yourself food. It does pay for you, right? You just give him money. Yeah, but I paid for it. So you paid for it? So you paid for the Chesed, says Chafetz Chaim. And as Moshe tells them, listen, we're going to buy from you. We don't need. We have water. We have bond. We're going to buy. Why are you telling him that? Because when I buy from you and you sell me, you do a kindness. By you doing kindness, I'm going to gain that I brought you to a certain level that you get pleasure from HaKadosh Baruch Hu because he did a good thing. That's the purpose of the story. It's the purpose of our life. Olam Chesed Yibaneh, people think, you're okay, you know what I mean? I just do kindness, You know? The biggest kindness is if you give somebody else the kindness, not that you do the kindness. I want to do the kindness, of course. But my purpose in my life, actually my life, is that somebody else should have so-called pleasure from the kindness. By me giving him something, and he accepts it, and he doesn't throw it back to me, it's also kindness. And later the Torah describes how bad this king of Edom, how stupid he was. And he rejected it. And that's finished. Now Edom is finished. I think Mashiach will come, it's over and over. And the same with very similar concept is we passed next to Moab. Ammon, they didn't come out and give us food. What does it mean? It means lack of kindness. People, your cousins come from Egypt after so many years, you don't come and greet them. You don't want to do kindness to them. So it applies to us as Am Yisrael, that our job in this world is to do kindness, not because of kindness to us, because if they do kindness to them, we grant it. And they're going to get kindness by not rejecting it, by loving the kindness. There's kindness. They're going to gain from it also. The Gemara says, more that the baby calf wants to nurse, the cow wants to nurse him. This Am Yisrael. Am Yisrael Kulo Chesed. All Am Yisrael is kindness. We have to have that thing. If they would agree, maybe Hashem would have cancelled the Gezerah on Moshe. This was Moshe's purpose, to try them to gain something. They should do a mitzvah. And this Chas Shalom, the Gemara says, the worst of the worst is somebody is causing that somebody can do a sin. The Muslim everybody say, okay, listen, you made this guy do a sin? Forget about it. Oh, well, forget about it. Why? So, it's not my fault, it's his fault. I didn't tie him in the rope to do a sin. I convinced him. I said, okay, it's his choice. I didn't do it. He should control himself. No, you don't get it. That's not what the problem is. The problem is, so-called, you gave him poison. Instead, your job is to give pleasure to somebody. What he did to him now, he did the sin because of you. Indirect, go ahead, indirect. But at the end of the day, that guy will not have pleasure because of you. Because if he did a sin, he won't really get the pleasure from Hashem. The pleasure from Hashem you get because if you keep the mitzvot. Not as a reward, because that's what it is. The mitzvot is supposed to give you pleasure. Here and in the next world. Now, if you cause somebody to have Chas Shalom sin, so it means you took away the pleasure from him. Defeat the purpose of creation. For this, the Gemara says, you will lose your Olam Haba. That's the Gemara says, so before those 3 weeks coming, before Tisha B'Av, it says, to undo the Gezerot, as a person should try all the time Somebody has to have pleasure. Somebody has to, you should have pleasure. Amen.